I want you to get together.
I think a
Mm-hmm.
little season is as long as it takes for them to get where they need to be and to provoke that Gog Magog war in whatever fashion they're going to do it. I think I'm sure you know my theory. It's the idea they're probably going to play the alien invasion card, and there maybe
Mm-hmm.
be a savior that turns up, the Maitreya. Could it be the world teacher who comes and puts an end to the evil invading mothership or something? I don't know how they're going to play it out necessarily. Pick a Hollywood
Mm-hmm.
movie, you know. I'm sure they played many scripts out, but the 2025 Maitreya thing, I've talked about it a few times, and going all the way back to
Mm-hmm.
the Theosophical Society, Lena Blavatsky, and then her student Alice Bailey, and then obviously this creating this magazine and book called Lucifer, which has then developed into the Lucis Trust today. A lot of people don't realize this, but they're heavily involved in world affairs, like heavily
Mm-hmm.
involved, and they're kind of like I said, paving the way for people to be ready for some kind of odd character to just appear, which is going to help humanity ascend to the next level of consciousness in a sense. What does that even mean? Do you want to give a bit more context into that? If people, I think people need to know about this because this is a date 100 years in the making. We're talking here.
Yeah.
Like 2025 is a
Yeah.
big deal to these people.
Yeah, it's really sinister. It interestingly coincides with the Department of Defense military agenda for the Arctic.
Hmm.
Um, so there's that. Space Force has been designed as well. So I think there's going to be a combined response to whatever they are expecting to happen around that time. But for
Hmm.
sure, like the Lucifer emergence of 2025. I mean, I know they're meeting in May to decide on the readiness of the world. That was kind of the date that was put in by, I think, Alice Bailey to say, check on these dates to make sure everyone's ready for this emergence of, Lucifer, or what they call the Christ. But we
Hmm.
know that really is just going to be Lucifer. And they worship him. They worship this. And they've been, I think just talking about that psychological preparation, they've been hard at work over the past couple of centuries to program humanity. So this is mass formation psychosis. This is like complete programming of the human mind. And we see it. Like there is no television show now that isn't somehow blaspheming God, really, including children's programs, whether it's a little more hidden in children's programs. There are, the music is just rife with the hate of God, the hate of Jesus, the alliance with Luciferian agenda. All the hallmarks are there across the entertainment industry, across the media, across education and healthcare. So, like, the kind of all the levels of the plan are laid, and not to mention the United Nations, World Economic Forum, the high level international agencies that are spearheading that rollout. And I think, things like the 2020 event was, again, like you say, it's just kind of a test. We're testing humanity to see, number one, how we can control them, how we can manipulate and coerce them into the ultimate goal that we want them to choose.
Hmm.
But this all kind of goes back to the philosophies of the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, because they really push the ideas of consent and the whole framework of democracy and liberty are based on this kind of idea that it's kind of this, you don't realize it, but you're consenting to things, right? So you're being kind of led along, you're being kind of coerced and manipulated. They need your consent. They need your consent to actually go through the next levels of preparation to get everyone there. And as Christians, it's our duty, or as anyone, I mean, anyone can do this, but especially as Christians, it's our duty to relinquish our consent, to say, I don't consent to this. And I think just actively realizing and participating in that management of our own consent to what's going on is something we actually have to be more involved in, I think. Not just sit on the sidelines and, for me, like I'm a commentator, right? I'm looking
Hmm.
at things and I'm making, notes and sharing those. But in my personal life, I also have to be actively living this. I have to be. aware and teaching my children and sharing with people that I know, like, don't just do things that they're telling you to do. But overall, like, I mean, I used an example recently of they do these preparation, emergency preparation kind of drills in every organization here in British Columbia. It's called BC Shakeout, and they frame it as like a preparedness exercise for an emergency event like a tsunami or an earthquake.
Hmm.
So basically, everyone's just expected to go along with it, right? So you kind of just think, oh, they send you all the information. They say on this time at this date, everyone has to go under their desk for 60 seconds, and then you come out, and then you go outside, and you all meet at this place. And in the meantime, there's alarms going off. There's a speaker. It's going, go to your meeting area, you know. And I just thought, we don't actually have to do this. Like, I'm not starting a revolution, but I'm thinking to myself, do I actually have to go along with this? I don't actually.
Hmm.
So I, really, really respectfully spoke to someone that was kind of in charge of this program. And I said, I would like to remove my consent. I don't consent to be involved in this. And, it actually sparked a conversation to say, well, why would you not participate? And I said, I think it's actually social programming for one thing. But the other thing is I'm practicing healthy consent boundaries. Like if I do something, it's because I'm actually deciding to, not because I'm expected to.
Mhm.
And just little things like that. Like I wouldn't do it with something super serious, but I think just initially, just to say, I have actual choice in this matter. And, you know, but when you look at these rules of consent, I think they're actually spiritual, and I think they hold legal sway in the spiritual realm. So that's something else we can talk about as well.
Certainly. Well, I think a time may be coming where um, making that choice to not consent will be a lot harder than it ever has been.
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of people may deny Jesus 3 times before they finally come round. It's that kind of thing,
Yeah.
because it's going to get pretty scary out there.
Mhm.
And we've all kind of been preparing for that scary thing to happen, and nothing really happened yet in over the decade I've been here. Scary little moments have happened, but they've all kind of amounted to be nothing in the end, or a test run of sorts for what's to come eventually, and we can kind of feel it, like this isn't the big thing yet. It's like, that event that happened in 2020, it was a good example of just how quickly social programming can kick in for people, how quickly people will respond and react to government's rules and mandates, and just how quickly there'll be a small faction of evil people out there who will thrive in that reality and take advantage of the power they've been given to exert the control over people. The evil will come. We've kind of seen an ugly side of humanity in that time zone, and
Yeah.
and in the end, it turned to all blow over and everything's back to normal now. And what's the big deal anymore? But that's because that wasn't it. That wasn't the thing. That was just a very, very quick test run for the big thing, And I think the big thing would likely be, like I said, alien invasion of some kind, or something just out of this world, something unprecedented, something that's kind of like, we have no way of dealing with this. This has never happened before. We don't know how to handle this situation. So the government will look like it's fumbling around, coming up with all sorts of checks and measures to protect people, as they will say. But really, it's a corralling of people. It's a leading of people down a particular path. It's social engineering at its maximum level. And let's say a mothership suddenly does just appear in the sky. The veil's lifted on New Jerusalem. Everyone's programmed to believe it's aliens. They have nothing else under the deck of cards to interpret what they're looking at. All the films have been telling them since birth, that's an alien. Aliens have invaded us. And if it is simply Christ, he's not going to attack us. But you better believe they'll release all their own UFOs on us and attack us and make it look like we're under attack. And like I said, maybe the Maitreya turns up, Lucifer turns up and beats them back. And it's kind of destroying his own army, you know what I mean? For the illusion of, I'm here to liberate you from the evil invading aliens type of thing. And then galvanize the Earth together to make war with the flying saucer before it's too late, before it makes its second wave or something like that. And in the face of that reality, what are Christians going to look like saying, no, like, I'm not going to join all of humanity to fight against this common threat. We're going to seem like traitors. We're going to seem like traitors to humanity, not to your country or flag, to humanity. it's going to be in a whole other level. And they used to line traitors up and shoot them in World War One just for simply not going over the trenches. What would they do to us in that time, in that type of scenario, in that unprecedented, never before seen events? We're going to seem like absolute backwards, humanity-hating lunatics, refusing to fight back against the evil invading aliens who want to kill us all. And we're going to be here saying, this is like a double-cross bluff from Satan. That's Jesus up there. Like, this is not, that alien invasion you just saw was not the mothership attacking us. We're going to see like absolute maniacs. Like, we're going to be seen as a real present threat and danger to the survival of humanity. And with all the evolution programming thrown in there and everything like that, eugenics is at play again here now. It's kind of like people like you are holding back the advancement of mankind. We have this wonderful being from the Galactic Federation offering for us to join them, and you're holding us back by saying, no, that's Lucifer, get over your backward stupid religion, let go of that stupid book and see what's in your eyes. It's going to be that kind of thing. People are just going to lose it at us, and it's kind of how easy do you think it would be for many Christians in that time to go, no. Really, when you think about it, it's going to be, you talk about persecution, like, that'll be the real test of the metal in the moment, I feel personally.
Yeah.
That's not going to be, it's not going to be easy. And it's going to seem pretty convincing as well. So think how many Christians who don't know about this little season theory. How are they going to truly interpret that event? Because the Bible doesn't say, and a mothership appeared in the sky and UFOs and aliens ate and attacked everybody and cities were leveled by lasers. It doesn't say that in the book. That's not in tribulation, as far as they're concerned, or at least in Revelation 16. It's not there where they think we are.
Yeah.
So they can't biblically square it in their own theology. They don't have an answer for it, really. You know, and especially if the Christians who are still in the globular heliocentric worldview as well, God help them. They have nothing to contextualize what's going to happen. It's likely they'll just fall, they'll lose their faith. They've got nothing. They've got nothing. You know, what do you do when a real alien suddenly turned up and is performing miracles? What do you do?
Yeah.
This Saturnalia, imagine a world where the truth was accessible and relatable. Where red baubles on a Nimrod phallus are forever changed. A solstice celebration where conspiracy and intrigue carry you away. Experience The Nephilim Looked Like Clowns, the perfect book for your weird way of life. Direct from Europe, this highly rated research has warmed the hearts of millions in time for the frosty season. Be inspired by timeless biblical questions such as, what the hell is Satan's problem? Ham did what to Noah? Was the pre-flood world really that bad? And if classic questions aren't your thing, and you prefer your Yuletide to be extra occult, take a trip to the unknown with the spine-chilling Hatman to the psychedelic realm of demonic jesters. You'll get 20 obscure and tantalizing chapters. No other book gives you the feeling of pure vindication towards your childhood fear of clowns. Each paragraph brings the wonder of Christ's sacrifice into your home. For this commercialized nonsense holiday, there's no greater gift for your family than a guide to effective spiritual warfare. Order now and get that edgelord of a teenage child of yours to Christ this winter. Sometimes in this little season, it takes clowns to get them there. To get your copy, do not call the number on screen, which is being used as a placeholder reminder of a bygone time. And don't send a check to any PO box because this is not the 90s anymore. Simply type in The Nephilim Look Like Clowns on Amazon to get your copy just in time to lock yourself away from the world and wait out the pagan festivities.